that all the time. And
I did it once.
Yeah, no. Raw eggs are fine as long as you eat them quickly. So if you leave it in a glass for,
well, no,
then you're gonna get sick.
no, well, because like she had the chickens, so she used to take them like
Oh yeah.
straight from the chicken. I was like,
Perfectly fine to eat.
yeah,
Perfectly
yeah.
fine to eat.
And she's just like, no, I just crack it open and I eat it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the guys at one of the rigs I was working on, he's like, "Well, will you eat these eggs?" And like he cracked it open and it's like bright orange
Sure.
and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, no,
What's a duck egg?
no. It was
Oh.
supposedly this is as fresh as it gets. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's the color it's supposed to be. And I'm like, no. It's like this is how eggs are supposed to be. I'm like, no, eggs are supposed to be yellow. He's like, that's what they make it like to keep it preserved and all that stuff. I'm like, yes.
How do they do that? What do they inject eggs with? Some
I don't
shit?
know what
Yeah.
they do, but that's not how they're supposed to look.
I think
I think when they're fresh out of the butt, then yeah, they're pretty orange.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I don't think they do anything to the egg. Oh no, that's
Or
the
maybe it is.
pasteurization process. Yeah, that's right.
but they don't do that. That's what I'm talking about. They don't do that in Europe.
Well, then maybe their shit's orange then. I
What's the
don't
same? Well,
Probably.
no,
Or maybe time, like the longer they're out, or the longer
know. Yeah, maybe.
then they're not, then they change
It
color.
makes sense. Eventually, they go green. So
Maybe
those
that's
you
the,
don't eat. Yeah.
the other thing too is I think that also has to do with. I think I may have heard this before. Is it's also like the same thing where if you've seen like fruits and vegetables that people grow and they don't look like the
store ones.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think that has
Oh,
to
yeah,
do
so you
also
get,
with
like-
like types of like chickens where because the ones you get from like the commercial farms, it's
Oh yeah.
They all eat the same thing.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, okay.
right. Whereas like you do the stuff where, well, what's yours been eating? Oh, caterpillars.
Right. Yeah.
Let me see.
What's yours been
Yeah.
eating? Whatever slop is ground together and poured
Right.
in front of them.
Right.
Right, AstroTurf.
Day
Yeah,
after
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it ate another chicken. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can kind of
think
tell
that's-
when you've had like, you know, the kind of chicken that had a shitty life. You know?
I think that's all of them.
No, like you go to like get a butcher block chicken, so you know they're pretty clean. But then every now and then, like I get like I get the packs of the one at Costco. Where
Yeah.
there's like 6 of them, or there's like 2 of them in a pack, and there's like 8 packs.
Yeah,
like spooled
yeah.
together. Some of those chickens had pretty rough existence. Man. You can kind of tell when you open the pack. It's like this one looks a little gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, it's like you grew up in a bad neighborhood, man.
Yeah.
It's like it's rough being like the only brother in like a bad neighborhood like this. You got called a lot of names.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got fed from a tube. So it's really like, yeah, kind of. Oh, it reminds me of that fucking. Yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna eat chicken for a little while now.
Oh, the
This
yeah.
stupid video. Yeah.
The documentary.
Right.
They haven't phased me from eating whatever. I'm like, I get it, but
I don't
It
know,
sucks.
man.
Are we live?
We are live. I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
This is Coffee Before
Yeah.
Bed. We actually remembered the intro this time.
We did.
We were only 4 minutes in.
Oh, really? Okay. Nice.
Well, it's better than 130.
For the first part of that one, my head was turning. It's like, are we? Do we?
Yeah.
Is this normal? What's going on?
And we're bouncing, right?
We are bouncing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good thing to pay
So,
attention to.
yeah. Well, no, it's funny. Whenever you say tube, I don't know why. The first thing that always comes to my mind is Aquafresh, and
Right.
I'm thinking of the poor chicken that ate that.
It's probably got a lot of antibiotics.
What? Why? What?
Well, I'm not saying it happened, but
Oh.
it's just whenever you say from a tube.
Oh, gotcha.
See,
Okay.
I have memories of when Aquafresh was the one toothpaste that came in the dispenser, and
The pump?
yep,
Yeah.
Cool, because it had the multiple colors.
and that's just what counted as a gimmick back in the day.
My family was not an Aquafresh family.
We didn't do it much.
No, well, because it cost more.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh. We got standard issue Air Force toothpaste.
I know it. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Well, it's Colgate, man. You know,
Oh, okay.
So it's whatever you could buy at the PX. So,
Yeah, we
or I'm sorry, it's the BX on the
Yes.
base. Yeah.
Exchange. Yeah.
I think we
That
had
was Sam's
Crest.
before Sam's was a thing, man.
Well, there were two toothpastes in the house. There was Crest for us
Yes.
and Topol for cats.
Tar be gone.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There was toothpaste for us, like varnish for.
Wasn't it called Targon?
There was a Targon,
Yeah,
but
there was a
Topol
Targon.
was the one where I don't know if that was just classier or whatever.
It was
but,
pure baking soda.
it came out brown, man.
Yeah.
It was the there was that and
Wait, it was brown going in?
yeah,
And
that shit was harsh.
Ugh.
Yeah, that shit was harsh. So there was that, and depending on who your parents were, like eventually it's like, why are you using Sensodyne?
Yeah, I remember the Sensodyne.
Oh, I've used Sensodyne
Which is
for
what I'd
years.
use now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, it's
It
great.
actually works.
It works great.
Yeah.
So
For what? Like
if your teeth get fucked up, so
hurting?
yeah,
Or like especially like sensitive to cold or
yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
I still use Crest.
I mean, I use it if I've got it.
It's not. God, I'm not talking about Crest like it's fucking.
I don't know.
I'm not.
William perpetually lives like he's 12.
I know.
So, yeah,
I know.
Don't worry about it, man.
But it's like the way that we say that. It's like he's thinking like Crest is like toilet duck,
Well,
and
he
it's
doesn't
like
age.
no.
So yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not
Probably
true.
still takes Flintstone kids.
There was
I just skip the whole vitamin thing.
there was
See, I don't even need fucking vitamins. You know, so-
no there was this for a while there. They made this Crest Sparkle, and it that was the stuff that tasted like
It was blue
It
and
had gritties in it, didn't
Yeah.
it did, but it
Yeah.
also tasted like
bubblegum, kinda.
it kind of tasted like bubblegum. It kind of tasted like
it? Like blue fucking Capri Sun.
sort of.
Yeah.
Right, so it had a smell to it too, where I don't remember.
Great.
Yeah, I don't remember if you can recall these, but there was this brand of like coloring marker back in the day.
I have some of those.
Okay, well, all right, so you do, all right, but they smelled like different kind of like
Yeah.
fruits and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And one of the fruits in there smelled just like that toothpaste.
Your
it's
memory
blue.
for that is better than mine.
Well,
So-
yeah, I have. We use those at the house still.
Oh, still?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and they still smell great, except for the black licorice.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody likes that one.
No.
Yeah.
But you need a black, so it's
So you have to make it litterous? You ought to make it smell like tar. It smells better. Like fresh asphalt? Come on, man.
Let's
It's kind of like the smell
I-
of gasoline. You know,
I
that's got a
hope you're
special
joking.
smell. No, I'm not, man.
actually, I kind of like the smell of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
gas I can live with.
You don't
The
like fresh
tar?
asphalt?
No.
Oh, I always thought it smelled kind of good. So it smells like
well.
progress.
Yeah, there are some things that it just must have like a super loyal audience because there are no people I know that are just casual like good and plenty eaters.
Oh, I hate those.
So the people who love them must
Yeah.
support that product, man. They just
Like actual black rope licorice is horrifyingly disgusting.
that's
Yeah. It's not, there's not even that tanginess to it that you get with the Good and Plenty. So it's just bad.
I think I've only had like 4 good and plenties my whole life.
That's about 3 too many, man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, those are just terrible. Do they even make them still?
Oh fuck yeah.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. They do make them, and
I don't think I see. Like the only place I remember used to seeing them was at the movie theater.
Oh no, every gas station.
every
Yeah,
gas station, every candy aisle at the grocery store is going to have the
Good
box.
one.
Yeah.
Same thing with black licorice. So you can get that anywhere.
You'll-
So still
You'll find it in the same place as the Mike and Ike's and hot
Mike and Ike's were
tamales.
fine.
Yeah, you will find them with the
Oh.
hot tamales.
See, my vision doesn't go quite past like where the Nerds and Sour Patch Like
You're not really missing much if you go down to Mike
the
Knight.
really
Yeah.
bright colors that are really obnoxious. Those are the ones that are calling
All
me.
the sweet candies.
Yeah.
I have to. So this is the thing about the candy. I'm gonna try to stay away from this because I have poor trigger discipline when it comes to candy, right? So if I'm going there, I have to. There's like a, what do you call it? It's like a like the Ghirardelli red line where you're just like you don't go past, like this is where.
The quality is
Yeah.
you're paying a little bit more for chocolate. We get it.
And I'm trying to think. It's so here's after eights, right?
I don't remember what's an after 8.
Those are the really, they're the thin mints with a little bit of like schmutz inside.
Okay.
I feel like the crossover point is Andes mints.
I guess because they're more like chocolates. So,
Right.
But then, like, I don't know, man.
Do you walk into the store knowing which one you want, or do you go and browse?
Oh, I have to browse.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. It's like this fucking Reese's here is the size of a pizza pan. Sweet.
That probably will be out again here soon.
Oh yeah, the pie.
The Christmas Walmart had the giant
I know.
bars.
Yeah,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
it was a giant
Last year we
Reese's.
got the Hershey bar that was this big.
Oh
yeah, okay, yeah, that's right.
And they had Kit Kat and Reese's.
yeah, they had like 8-inch Reese's.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were humongous.
Christ, no, I didn't see
Yeah.
that at all.
No, you have
That's
to
why
go
you
out.
need that tonight. Yeah.
No, okay, no, it's not even that. So the problem I have is when I go browsing, that's where I start thinking about things that on the package just like, well, that sounds fascinating because there's this part of the chocolates where you start seeing it's Euro influenced, right? And that's where you're the point where, oh, okay, well, you know what? Actually, like this blueberry and walnut chocolate sounds interesting. But that's the thing. You strike out on these way more than you do with. Like, America's got to figure it out.
Yeah.
They've tested the things over the course of like 100 years, and they've just weeded out the things that like children don't like. But there's still like an experimental like European side of this where like that's where you find like the Ritter Sports and
You mean like when we went to that breakfast place and the menu had every single menu item had like 20 ingredients that were all Frenchish or whatever it was.
I didn't get on board with that.
And I
but-
went, no, this is not, there's not even plain eggs. Like you can't just get eggs. Like,
Did you ask?
no, we looked at the menu.
Where was this?
It's right near the Egg and I. There's some
It's a place up
breakfast
north.
joint?
yeah.
Yeah, further up north. It's
It wasn't the mill, was it?
No.
no.
I thought it was with you. Because I think
I don't think that was with me.
maybe.
There is a place that's further up north from the Egg and I on the right side. Of,
Out on the east side? Yeah. Yeah, it was on the east side. Same side as Egg and I.
yeah. No. Okay. Never mind. So that's not it.
There's some breakfast place out there, and I literally sat down, got water, looked at the menu, and went, there's nothing plain on here. There's
Yeah.
800 ingredients on every single thing.
I think I know the place you're talking about. It closed. So yeah. I think I know what place you're talking. I had a buddy take me there once. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna love it. They have really good breakfast." And I was like, "Where's the hash browns?"
yeah,
You know.
Sure, you get that anywhere. That's
that's what I want.
right.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You just go straight.
Register your Acer device. We're
Okay.
good.
Okay.
I think that's just gonna have a 5-minute reminder.
Well, the thing is, I can turn that off. But yeah. So
Obviously,
you can-
the people have spoken.
no. Well, here's the thing: is okay if you don't want to go to the Egg and I, right? Which is I would say is like quarter fancy, right? You go up the street, and then there's the IHOP, which is
I love that.
That's
it's
nickel
fine.
fancy.
Yeah, it's nickel fancy, right? So if you're looking,
What is Waffle House?
penny fancy. And it's the first place I'd go.
Like a Waffle House, like the unit of measurement is Waffle House. Like it's just kind of like I'm trying to remember. It's just the same thing where people used to say it's like, well, do you want Sunny Delight or orange juice, right?
Right.
My kids have outgrown Sunny Delight.
Right, which is an orange product. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Here's the thing: I don't hate it, but I can't, in good conscience, say like this is orange juice.
Isn't it just like orange juice with added vitamin D? I thought that was the trick behind it.
It's
I thought
kind
it was
of
highly sugared Kool-Aid.
it's
What, Sunny D?
Yeah.
it's more akin to like
Yeah.
camp juice.
Yeah, it's more like bug juice. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, but but I thought that was a trick behind it. It actually had citrus in it, and they added a lot of vitamin D to it.
They do have a bunch of vitamin D,
Okay.
but yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Waffle House is Waffle House.
Okay.
Do you want breakfast or do you want to go to Waffle House? And I'm not saying that you don't get breakfast there,
Yeah.
but it's Waffle House.
Waffle House is kind of its own meal. It's also timeless.
No,
Yeah.
I got no problem with it. That's the thing. This is not me shitting on it.
I haven't been to one in a while, but yeah, that sounds good.
Like go in there and
Where does Denny's fit? Is that IHOP?
Denny's is dead.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
there's
don't-
no Denny's left in town. Ha ha ha.
are they all gone?
Really?
They're all gone. IRS got them.
Oh.
Okay.
What about then Village Inn?
Actually, I don't. There's a
I
couple
know
of them
I know
left.
I've seen one.
That's one. Well, actually, I think that one close.
Yeah. So the one. And so did the one over here by the Taco Bell. That one's long gone. The one that they put the handle on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
I think I
So-
seen one on my way to work or something.
You know what? We used to. There were Village Inns like in those different places in Colorado when we'd go to the rigs. Yeah, they were around.
yeah.
They were around. They're just not around here.
This is just a hard market for those places anymore. So, because you got a lot of other breakfast joints around here that
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
So, like, Egg and I took over like a lot of things, and then Urban Egg is out there.
Urban Egg
There's
is
like
good.
3 of those. They're pretty good.
That
I'm
one's
into
good.
an urban egg.
Yeah,
I've only gone
it's
once.
breakfast food.
It's
pretty good.
the potatoes are pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they keep potatoes at Brian.
There are still a couple of Perkins left. Like that one's down
There is one
over there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
like the chain breakfast places. So
Well-
if Denny's were and look, I know Denny's isn't just dead. They
It's just
still
dead
have them around
here.
the country.
It's just dead to me.
Well, there's a franchise around here run by an Iranian guy who didn't pay taxes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, other places still have plenty of them, but Denny's was fine. Again, it's
Sure.
Denny's Village Inn are in the same category, so they'd be
Right.
dime. I
Dime.
would say that's
Perkins
10
was
cent
kind of in there
breakfast.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not, like I don't think Perkins was any fancier than Village Inn. So I mean, they had the bakery and stuff, but Village Inn had the pies. So
right.
yeah,
Right.
So Egg and I is ahead of those
yeah, I would say so.
for class.
I'd say that's a
Well,
that's a
yeah.
quarter. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Urban Egg's probably about a quarter too.
Yeah.
yeah. it's
I haven't
pretty
been
common.
there, but yeah.
I think there's only 2 of them. There might be 3.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Did you ever been to? Did you ever go to King Chef downtown?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place is a nickel, but you get 50 cents worth of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is it's downtown.
See, okay, and this is the thing is, like, so in terms of like pancakes, like Wade's is over there. And
The wage is fantastic.
and there's, I would say they're quarter, but it's,
It's the place is impenetrable, man. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It's been a couple of years since my brother and I tried to go there, but even the last time we did, it was even getting close to closing time over there, and they were still had a fucking line.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're just like, nah, we make money. Fuck off. You know, so-
Well, we went to on Saturday night. We went to grab dinner, and we were gonna go to Old Chicago's. And she was just like, "Hey, have you ever eaten over there at Tucano's?"
oh,
And I
no.
was like, "I've eaten over there."
but
and
Tucanos?
isn't that-
Tucanos.
what's it called?
It's right next to Rock Bottom.
Yeah,
Toscanos.
Toscano.
We all call it Tucanos. So yeah.
So we went there, and I was like, you could see people outside,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "No, we're not getting in." And she's like, "What if we draw the line at a certain amount?" And I was like, "All right, half an hour." She's like, no, 45 minutes.
What the fuck?
I was like, all right, 45 minutes. Go up there. finally get up to the
Five Guys
front,
is right there, man.
and I was just like, "So how long's the wait? 2 hours." I was like, "Oh my
Saturday
god!"
night, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Goodbye.
So,
And you know what? We got to walk right into Old Sea.
yeah.
I gotta say, like, Toscano's.
Condos.
There's an S in it. Okay, but I've been there.
I've gone there once.
I've been there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did not.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was good.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, with a lot of derision, yeah. It's like, whatever.
Oh no.
Oh no, that was
Yeah, that was kind of
that was
rough, man.
wow. Okay, you also like eating dirt, I guess.
Oh no. No, I'm not looking at you like fucking like you gotta cook the toaster pastries. You know, it's
Well, see, that's kind of their problem. They got to cook the meat.
well, they cooked it too much and burned the building down.
Well, that's happened more than once over
Right.
there. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
They were closed for a while.
A couple of times.
I
Yeah.
did not know. I guess you're gonna rock bottom.
I spent a lot of time across the street, yeah.
Right. Well, no, it's so it's the Brazilian steakhouse
Yeah.
thing, and I guess I've been to a few of those, and just none of them have landed. That's all I'm saying.
I hear that some people do it right, just not around here. So the
I
thing
did it in
is,
Texas too. So
I don't know. I've never done it anywhere else. So, but then like one of the chefs over there, he was telling me, he's like, "Do not eat over there, dude." So, and I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna get sick." So,
I wasn't.
Wow.
yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't.
I didn't have that issue, but
Yeah.
It wasn't like a sick thing. It's just. I don't have a. The meat was okay, but everything around it was whack. It was they have this salad bar type thing,
Right.
yeah.
and that you look in there and it's just. Oh man, it's like I don't want to put those like canned mandarin oranges on. It's like, oh,
Yeah. It's like, how many different kinds of nuts can I put on my salad?
it's wacky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, where's the blue cheese?
right. And I'll eat that stuff too.
Yeah.
I think I just had a tiny little salad, and then I just kept telling them to shovel meat.
Meat.
Because then I think all I had was meat and pineapple.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what else. I don't even remember what other things were there.
Yeah, but that's the thing is for meat and pineapple, you're like $44.
God.
We got one of the, I don't know, our realtor sends us
Oh,
things where you get coupons stuff, and it was buy one get one.
yeah.
So
Well, okay, so and
there's the
I'm not-
coupon
no,
thing.
no, it's not that you use the coupon. It's that let me just say it this way: restaurants that hit don't give out BOGOs, man. Especially like sit down restaurants.
true.
Yeah.
I get
so,
free appetizers for like Outback, and
Yeah.
I think Outback's dying too, isn't it?
Outback's been dying for 10 years, man.
Well,
So-
it's not all of them. It's anything within that like Friday's window of.
Fridays stubbornly hangs on, though, man. So,
Well,
Do
yeah,
we have one here?
oh, yeah, there's one just down the street over there. So,
Is there?
yeah.
but it's I think some of their shit is just carried by like selling potato skins in your freezer, right?
Yeah, sure, but, you know.
But there's no like Outback muffins in
yeah.
muffins. It's steakhouse. I'm sorry.
Well,
Like
you get a bloomin' onion. So,
I would not eat that from the freezer.
I know, but, yeah.
Ugh.
So, but I don't think the tater skins are actually holding TGI Fridays up, man. So, I mean, they make what? Maybe a nickel off each box of those they sell.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
speaking of that,
What?
since on one of the previous ones you were talking about how hair of a margin that they make off their stuff,
On who?
these restaurants and things like that.
Yeah? Is
You're-
it was it
so-
off on that, or is it worse?
So we went to Who Hut. Who Hut? Who
Who
Hut.
what? Hell, those are the people who send me coupons on their own. Man. I don't even need to get it from my realtor anymore.
So we went, got our food, everything else. I paid, it was fantastic. We like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Get the bill, and I sign off on the bill, and I'm like, wait a minute. That was exceptionally high.
Did they put on all kinds of extra fees and shit on there?
No.
Oh,
So
ooh.
I look,
curious.
and I'm like, what in the world? Oh, a soda is $6.
There you go. Yep.
A kid's meal is $5.98.
Yeah. There you go.
I was like, what the? There is no way that's a thin margin off that one.
They're taking a loss on everything else they feed
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's probably true.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because the soda we talked about, that's 2.5 cents.
Yeah.
Sure.
$6.
Yeah, like the brewery, they make like, I mean, like off a $6 beer, it costs them like 15 cents to make that. Okay, and so it seems like it's like $6 worth of margin. They lose all the money on the food, so they lose it all, man. So when you go there and you get like Veterans Day was last week, and everybody's getting fucking steaks, their money's just walking out the door the entire day unless those people drink.
Oh my
So,
gosh, really?
Yeah, yeah, no. So it's
Wow.
and like that's why in a lot of places you see soda fountains and stuff like that. Yeah, because that soda
That
is
saves
pure
their
profit.
life.
Yeah. So, but it basically keeps the lights on. So yeah, yeah.
That's also why your waiter or waitress is supposed to hit you hard about
Getting a drink.
Yeah,
an actual
Appetizers,
drink.
and
Yeah,
appetizers.
and a glass of wine.
yeah. Get you on a glass of wine. So
Yeah, I've gotten much more to the point where I'm like, water.
yeah,
Well, yeah, that's
And then I'll buy 2 liter on the way home. Thank you much.
well, it's funny. Like, I don't know why for the longest time it was like Chinese restaurants and Korean restaurants for the longest time where you get a soda, they bring you the can.
right.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You know what? The other place I know will no. Like a couple of sandwich places used to do that too.
Mom
but
and pop places.
yeah, but
that's pretty rare now.
it is.
Yeah.
It's almost quaint.
Yeah, it's almost cute.
Right.
So it's like, oh, you can't have a fountain yet? I'll help you out, man. So
Or they're just like, well, I don't need a fountain because these keep falling off the truck.
right, yeah. So Uncle Sam paid for these. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, like, it still baffles me as to how many restaurants keep surviving. So
Depends on the restaurant, yeah. But
there's been a lot over the last, I would say even before COVID.
oh yeah,
It was kind of like, all right, that one's gone forever. Like Rocco's gone forever. So
are they gone now?
there's a truck. So
Oh.
there's a truck. That
I'm
they don't-
surprised the trucks aren't massive. Like,
the-
the overhead and stuff on that is so little compared to.
It is, but it's insanely competitive. So, I mean, you basically have to stake out a spot. So, in a lot of the spots, the good ones, like down by the courthouse and shit like that, I mean, they'll stab you for them. So,
Yeah, you can't.
some of those guys running the taco trucks are kind of scary. Bob
Yeah.
Lobster Trap is not going to be able to put up a good fight against, like yeah.
Is
well,
that an actual?
yeah, it's actually right over here, and he's got a truck. So,
Really?
yeah, I seen him out in front of the park near my house. It's like, dude, this is not a high traffic area, man.
Wow.
So, and it's like, I hope you do better, man. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people saw those fucking, things a couple years ago on TLC and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a great idea. I can actually pursue my passion for cooking and only cook like, 5 things and have a staff of me as opposed. I mean, even Family Guy did a fucking thing on it.
Well, because a lot of it too was they were the people that I run a catering company, and
Right.
then it transferred over. It's kind of like so that would be like right now if like 20 years ago you're like, well, what do you do? Why flip houses?
Right.
It's like I've never heard of that.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I'm the #1 guy in Colorado. There's only 3 of us.
Right.
And what's crazy because I'm telling you, man, I don't know if it's just turned over, but I'm telling you that 60% of the shows that I do are all about fucking house flipping.
Oh yeah, sure. People are still trying to do it, man.
Well, that's gonna die.
I don't know.
Well,
It'll come back. So the thing about it is that whenever the market takes a little bit of a beating, it comes right back. Because people jump out, they've got money sitting on the sidelines, and as soon as they start seeing an uptick, they're going to jump right back in.
You've got the high interest rates. What did the interest rates?
They
go
don't.
up to,
No, they don't care about interest rates, man.
No?
So people who flip houses buy cash. So yeah, that was like the first thing that my buddy Wayne taught me about buying a house. He was like, "Don't use your money." So you know, he was like, "You got to find investors or have the money yourself." He's like, "The last thing you do is go ask some damn bank for a loan and then try and flip a house off that. That's a guaranteed way to lose money."
Huh.
So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Now the shows, of course, I know that this is partially it's set up. So I mean, it's always the you knew all these guys. It's funny. It was like I didn't know that these guys were like house flipping celebrities. I didn't know that those two twin boys were
The Canadian
like,
guys?
Yeah.
like
Yep.
super famous.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They got like supermodel girlfriends and everything, man.
That's
So
that's so weird to me.
hey man,
Vanilla
they got
Ice was
money.
Flipping.
That's
Vanilla
what I'm
Ice was
talking about.
flipping
Yeah.
houses, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I just did a new one with some girl. I guess she was on some car show. I don't know who it was. I was like, well,
And they bring her on to swing like the hammer once or twice.
oh, they didn't even pretend.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because she was the one well, you have the people that are like the design side versus
Yeah.
and then they come in. It's like, well, this is my buddy Greg, the contractor. It's like, what are you doing there, Carly? We're gonna knock down all these walls. Like,
And they do that like the thing on the fucking architecture software
Yes.
where this is
Yeah.
what it's gonna look like.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
You know,
whatever
yeah.
like cheap thing it is.
And then there's always a twist. And it's like, oh, we didn't know this beam was here. Fuck. You know, are we gonna be able to make it to the end of the project? I don't know.
you
So
know what they always do. You know,
Really?
and
are you sure about that?
you know, and there's another one. There's actually one with the twin sisters.
Oh, that's new. I haven't seen that one.
in the Pacific Northwest, and their shtick. Get this,
Affordable housing for the homeless?
not even close.
Got it.
Not even close. Their shtick is Patrick is they are staking some of their own money, right, for a cut of the profits when they flip it.
Right.
Okay. See,
Yeah, no, like that was an underwhelming like reveal right there.
oh no. See, that's where the real stakes drama comes in because these two chicks could be losing their shirts,
Oh my god.
right?
They might just have to make
Do they
more
lose
TV
their
shows.
literal shirts?
You don't want it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, you don't
No.
want that. Yeah.
They're not those kind of twins.
They're
they're 60s.
just a little. No, they don't look bad. They're just look kind of heavy. Like you're not.
A little burly, a little bit of hammer swinging going on.
Well, that's the thing. They're not like fucking muscly, which like,
okay.
all right, this is cool, but no, it's just kind of like, yo, I got a little bit of like a lumberjack physique, so it's like, all right.
It is the Great Northwest.
Cool. They both look like their dad. Got it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is it's I mean, because you know how this stuff works. It's like, well, the show is staking this. You know, it's not really your money.
No, it's not.
Or
$5. Oh.
well, no, it's again, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, so let's say that you do stake this because what would be at risk would be, let's say it's $30,000, right, or $50,000, right? You do that, then the show is going to be like, well, we're paying you, you know,
Yeah.
25,000, 50,000 per episode or whatever.
Well,
Right?
and it's not like you're gonna lose. Like you're gonna come up with zero.
No,
Like you're still gonna sell the house, whether
Right.
You make a lot or a little. Like
Well, and a lot of times they're like, some of those shows have been outed, so for being completely fraudulent.
yeah,
So like they'll be like, oh, we're gonna sell this house kind of thing, and the people who like are actually in the show are not actually the homeowners. Okay. There's somebody else who actually owns the home and wants it renovated, okay? And so they'll stage it as like these individuals are the homeowners when it's bullshit. There's also like there's been quite a few like lawsuits out there where this happened to those folks down in Texas who turned into like they spun off HGTV and got their own fucking channel set up.
Magnolia.
I think so.
I've done stuff for Magnolia.
So, and they got sued several times by individuals who are like, well, what they did on camera was not actually what they did for our house, and now we're stuck with this ginormous, payments, that we have to do because we took out additional equity and considering the renovations that we have part of it. Now we can't sell it because none of the work was done to code. So,
Oh, no.
Oh, it's happened a couple times, man. So on some of that shit, and so. And that one, the one where they go and they look at like 3 or 4 different houses. House hunters?
Yes.
That one got sued a couple times for being completely fraudulent about it. So it was like, no, actually, we didn't buy that house at all, kind of thing. And yeah, so the owner who actually owned the house was like, hey, the fuck, man. So,
Wow.
like, I was selling this, man. So there's been a few of those here or there.
See, there's one other one that kind of gets my goat, and this one's British, so you guys probably wouldn't have seen it unless there's an American version that, it is what it is. But so they take these 3 British folks, and what they're supposed to be doing is they're not buying places; they're looking for like places to rent when you're on vacation, right?
So like Airbnbs.
It can be anything.
Oh, okay.
Right? And so they rate them on these various criteria, and one of them is always, it's basically they're trying to go for like bang for your buck, right?
Oh, I see. So they're looking for a place to stay.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's about taking like vacations in real places, right?
Got it.
Like, okay, this actually makes sense. Okay. Now, the thing is, when they get down to the affordability scale, I have some problems here. So, okay,
Know where you're going with this.
where am I going with this?
So it's just like, wow, how can we find so many rich white people to keep signing up for these shows, man? So it was like the two of you combined have a combined income of 240,000 pounds a year. That's the average man's salary.
Okay. It's that, and then it gets worse.
Okay, all right. Tell me how it gets worse.
Because all right. So one of the things that they do here is, yes, it is also selling it to rich white people, right? But then they do this thing where they try to put it in the reach of people like you and I.
Right.
So one of the ways they calculate bang for the buck is like, say they go to a really nice Airbnb or something like that. What they then say is, well, the house sleeps 8. Okay.
So we're gonna accept yes.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, it's like, well, if a party of 8 comes here, then what you're paying is 145 pounds per day per week.
Per person. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know you, and I know Pat, and frankly, I'm not really going on vacation with any of you guys anytime soon, so it would be me, which means I'd be putting up the whole, like, 2,000 pounds per day.
Where you'd have 7 strangers, so running around that place.
Well, it's supposed to be, like, for taking your families.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the
You're
one they...
paying for all of it anyway.
Right.
Right.
My kids aren't coughing up 100.
Exactly. That's the other part of it.
Oh, that's true. I
Yes.
didn't even think about
That's
that.
the other piece of it.
Yeah.
Is if you bring a family or 2 families, right? If you're vacationing with your family, like, the kids don't have jobs.
No. And even if they did, they sure are paying their shit.
Well, yeah.
Right.
What the fuck? Yeah, you go on vacation, you guys, you're like 16-year-old working at Little Caesars, and you're like, all right, son, well, cough up.
Even your college kid would be like, no, that ain't happening.
And you look at these places,
Yeah.
like, all right, this does look pretty cool. And the whole thing is they're trying to show each other up and say, I found the best one this week.
Right.
And then the producers find one and they say, we may have you topped. So the concept is great, but the actual like value of it is, this is not within my reach.
No. And then plus you have to get there.
Yeah, I live here. Yeah, so
Right.
that's
Like that's a really fancy place you have there in Ibiza or however you say it. And it's like
it's Ibiza.
Ibiza. How the fuck do I get there? Oh, it's $13,000. You know.
Unless you're like a British, like
Right.
You're talking about for us.
Well, yeah. There's an ocean between us
Right.
and there. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their party island. It's not
Right.
for us. Yeah.
Oh, is that off Britain?
No.
It's in Spain.
It's in
isn't
Spain.
it? Yeah.
But it is you can catch a flight down there every 20 minutes.
Oh,
Is it
That's
Ryanair?
like Vegas.
Kind of thing?
a corny name.
Yeah. Okay.
That's No, because then you say it's like, well, would you fly on Jeff Air?
Well, I thought that was like their version of Southwest. In Europe.
I know,
Oh,
but
okay.
just for the name, like Jeff Air,
If
it got me there.
$89 gets me down
Yeah.
there, sure. You know,
like you wouldn't try. Okay,
I trust.
I mean, if their planes, if Hawaiian Airlines planes don't fall out of the sky every week, then yeah, Ryanair is probably pretty good.
okay. I just say it's not going to be a comfortable flight.
That's fine.
But it's not long.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not flying to Dubai, so
Okay, you're not flying to Dubai on Jeff Air.
I'm not flying to Dubai on Jeff Air. I'm not flying to Dubai. Period. So
Good for you.
Ever?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, man.
I don't think I've.
So yeah, it's a dry country. I wouldn't be able to make it very long. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
that's
no.
true. Yeah.
So, all those sand-based economies, I'm not interested. So
They're dry? Like you can't drink?
no, it's
Well, that
the
too.
entire Islamic world is
Yes.
dry. If you didn't know
I
that,
didn't know that.
yeah.
People go. Like they.
There's a whole
dry
thing,
in like Utah, but people can still drink.
right? In Utah, they don't chop your hand off if you fucking try and drink.
Well, yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
That is correct. Don't bring any drugs. Don't
Don't do it. I mean, there's this whole thing going on about like the World Cup right now, where they're gonna charge like fucking, I think it's like 15 pounds of beer. Okay, because it'll
It's
be
in Dubai, isn't it?
It's the only place in Dubai where you'll be able to get a beer. So
Wow.
yeah, during that time, and like there are a lot of people who's like, well, fuck it, we're not going to the World Cup if we can't drink.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
No, that's the entire. Well, okay. Let me say this.
None of them get drunk?
I'm sure you can get drunk there. It's just like, I know for like foreigners doing it and stuff like that, that's like almost unheard of. Wow. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
So if you're asking me if there aren't like sultans that don't have
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
right, because there's a lot of things like there's no pornography in the Muslim world, and right. So
Yeah,
I mean,
they still have the internet.
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is technically you're not, and I
Right.
imagine if you have certain rights, then
Yeah.
yes, right. But I mean, this is the same place where it's, oh my God, I can see something other than your eyeballs.
Well, yeah.
We should kill you.
Is Dubai like that?
I don't know.
know,
If
yeah.
Dubai's like that.
I don't
You know
think
what?
so.
I may be unfairly lumping it in with other areas, but fuck that. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'm not
Okay,
going to Dubai.
I'm
yeah.
good.
No.
I'm good.
Like-
it wasn't high up on my list anyway.
Fuck it. Even if they had the world's biggest water slide in the Middle East, I'm still like,
When was the last time you hit a water slide?
It's been a while. I didn't get to do one in Florida, man. So the third day we were supposed to, I mean, if we had stayed for a third day, we probably would have gone to the water park. But other than that, I haven't been on a water slide in probably a decade.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was the one next to Elitch Gardens.
Oh, I've been on one more recent than that.
Next to Eel.
Waterworld?
No,
No, I was like, that's
there's a
not
water park
next-
that
In
was-
Elitch.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Gotcha.
and I did both that day. It was nice. One ticket gets you both places.
Yeah.
I took my daughter a couple years ago. There's this place up in Castle Rock that's got water slides in it. So it's an indoor, it's public access, like YMCA, that's actually got pretty good water slides in it. It's got the jungle gym in the middle with the water cannons on it. and
That's
stuff.
cool.
It is pretty cool. Yeah.
I'll have to look
It's
into
what
that.
fancy white people do with their money. So
Well, it looks like the
Well,
it's when Cherry
Yellowstone.
Creek gets full and they start bleeding over to Castle Rock, they say, this place needs a community center.
Well, have you seen the Yellowstone or Jellystone or whatever that is?
Jellystone National Park.
Right. Well, it's like before Larkspur or right around. Like it's actually starting to build up more. Like there's looks
That
like there's water
campground
park.
right there.
It looks like they're building like water parks in there and all that kind of stuff.
So the place that is completely overrun with fucking construction equipment guys, okay, because they've been working on the gap for the last 2 years. If they're building a water slide, it's not the kind that you really go down.
The duct tape holding the water in, you know, it should
I
be
don't
fine.
know, man.
oh, for God's sake, it's not one of those like traveling dirt carnivals.
That is the place right there in Larkspur, right?
Right outside, yeah, right
It's
around
north
there.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
I don't know. It looks like it's starting to get pretty elaborate.
maybe, man. I don't know. I haven't been up to Denver in a little while, but the last time I drove up there, it was what, in the summer? I think it was in late summer. I drove up to Denver, and the whole thing was fucking overrun with fifth wheels that you could
Oh.
tell were all guys who were working on the Gap.
Yeah.
Okay, so they had their multiple coolers out and their grills all set up, and like their fucking like canvas additions to things, So it just looked like a caravan, so like a gypsy camp.
One of the funniest things I read is this is the second time this year that they hiked up the prices in Disney World because they are absolutely committing to driving the riffraff out.
Of Disney World
Yes,
in
because
Florida.
yes,
Oh.
and Disneyland. So here's the thing: is everybody thought they'd be lowering prices, post COVID and stuff like that.
No
right?
way.
Well, they did for a little bit, right? Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, is Disney World and Disneyland started having a lot of TikToks and videos on YouTube
Yeah.
of fights breaking out in the parks.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so they already sent up one price hike to chase out the riffraff.
Yeah.
And when I say riffraff, that's coded language.
Yeah, you're talking the middle class, man. So
No, I'm not talking the middle class. I'm talking about a specific part of the middle class.
the black middle class.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Because there's this attitude of like, this is like a Chuck E. Cheese, right? We can't have this kind of thing here, which is why they just raised it again, because they didn't chase enough out.
I don't know, man. So I don't think that's just targeted at the specific black middle class. So
Well, no.
yeah,
They had put it in reach up the lower class.
yeah,
That was a problem.
yeah, no, that's not sustainable. I mean, I could tell you that even just by going to Universal, that it's already like even there, it's already a system of lords and peasants. So where like if you got the multi-path, the fast path, you get eyeballed by other people. So and it's just like, okay, you know what? I would actually pay more to have less people in this park. So,
Well, that's yeah.
and the tickets were not fucking cheap, man.
No.
No.
No, they're not cheap. And Disney was way more expensive. That's why we didn't go to it. So, I mean, you're talking like hundreds of dollars a day per fucking
Right.
ticket. So, yeah, it was absolutely nutso. And it was still packed. So it was absolutely packed. So,
People can spend somehow.
I know, but then they have the days where they close the parks and they just have like a couple of fucking fancy people walking around there. So they do that all the time at Disneyland. Disney
Well,
World.
also in Disney, they also have like the tunnel,
Yeah,
and that's for the super wealthy.
sure, yeah, where you get escorted to the head
Correct.
of the lines. Yeah,
And
So-
well, through the underneath of the, and you get to see all the fun back stuff, and that's like $200 an hour.
yeah, I'd be surprised if it's that low.
When I heard about it, that's
Yeah,
how much
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, but you have your personal attache, and she's like cheerful, and she just walks you from place to place wherever you want to go.
Yeah, we saw people like that at Universal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Only you never see them at Disney.
Yeah. So I guess Disney's got like all the catacombs that they send you through and
Uh-huh.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then there's also there's a secret bar at Disney. I can't remember.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be invited to go there.
Yeah.
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 So, if I'm not mistaken, it's near the Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a fancy like opera house there. It has something to do with that. It has something to do with the New Orleans type section of Disneyland.
Yeah. The thing is, I love stuff like that. I'll never be
Part of that.
no, because I'm not meant to be. Right.
Right.
The whole society is meant to keep people like me out, and they're right to do so, right? But I'm just saying, I love the idea of that kind of thing in place, where it's
Yeah.
like, all right,
There is a secret society.
who were those clowns I told you about? The
Oh. Damn
Uh,
it, I can't remember who that is.
where we had like 4 lodges worth here in Colorado
Yeah.
Springs.
I can't remember what they were.
Oh my god, they're such dorks.
You're not talking about the Masons.
No, it was
no.
the or not an offshoot. It was
The Oddfellows.
Oddfellows.
Oh yeah, no, we talked about that last time, didn't we?
I
can remember the name.
I remember I talked about it with you. and
Yeah.
it's like such losers. Just. Oh, hey! I got an education question for you, Patrick. Have you? Are you familiar with the? I think it's the XQ program, the Super Schools program.
No.
These were the guys making some noise about 5 years ago, where their whole transition, and of course this was the other thing I didn't tell you about, was they started this with charter schools, where they were setting up this program. It's the one that was made with Steve Jobs' wife and one of the education.
Was it the whole like you don't need to go to college kind of thing?
Well, yeah, that's the thing is they're it's all supposed to be based off of like it's all group projects.
Oh, that sounds horrifying.
Okay, see, that's what I was going to ask you, right? Okay, because so they've tried it in like
That's terrible.
okay, this is why I wanted to bring this up to you guys. So they tried it. I looked it up while I was working on this program. But that they've tried it in 10 places and 3 places it's failed. Okay.
Soon to be 10.
Well, and that's the thing. It's one of the places where it really succeeded was a charter school in Memphis, and it just so happens to turn out that this place was exceedingly wealthy and stuff like that. But
Sure.
but evidently they've tried it in other places, DC and other things.
It's not going to work in any place where you cannot enforce standards. So if you can't fire the children, they're not going to take that seriously.
That was kind of what I was going to ask you about. If this one had ever come across your desk, where
What grade levels is it for?
it's for high school,
Yeah.
Just high school? Okay.
right? And the thing was, this was the part that really got to me, right? Is the reason I was doing this was because they were making a documentary about it themselves. Okay.
Oh, that'll be never mind. That'll be fair and balanced. So-
Right. Okay. And this is one of the I can't remember her name now, but the girl that's basically pitching this is she's making this plea on this because out of the developed and developing countries, the United States is 31 out of 37.
Bullshit.
Tell me why.
It's cherry picking the statistics in whichever way you want to. So, like Dr. Phil. That's what we were bitching about Dr. Phil on this thing. So about his whole fucking thing about, like what is it? Fucking 80% of Americans are functionally illiterate. So or whatever it was some
Right.
bullshit statistic.
Right.
So but he's just cherry picking it because it's based upon an international standard. So and sure, yeah, I bet you if we're talking about the true King's English now, then yeah, probably 81% of Americans are functionally illiterate. So, but you know what? We don't need that. So,
Well, my apologies, but there's only a small pocket of people that speak the King's English in Britain.
sure. So even there you go. So how many people in Britain are functionally illiterate in English? So
From what I can decipher, okay. So this is the thing is that the people that speak with what they call BBC English or RP,
Yeah.
right? There's some,
yeah,
and they even started that you used to not be able to be on BBC unless you spoke with that,
right.
but they started letting degenerates on that channel too.
Yeah.
So,
Not
Yes.
everybody has to come from Cambridge. So yeah,
and they don't.
or Oxford. That's Oxford, right?
Oxford?
Oxford and Cambridge.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
two separate places.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I always get that mixed up because Harvard's in Cambridge. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
different
Yeah.
country,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, no, man, it's bullshit. So people take a look at, like any kind of like education statistic in the United States. So it's skewed for 3 specific reasons. The first and foremost is if we do any kind of international standard, guarantee that there is a giant red country over to the east of us where they cheat like motherfuckers
Yes, they
on
do.
the thing. Yeah. I mean, like bad. All right. So, and I mean, I've had so many students over the years. So it's like, oh, you passed the TOEFL or TOEFL or whatever it is.
The TEF.
The TOEFL. Thank you. All right. And it was like, good for you. And they're like, And I'm like, you understand what I'm saying? Cool. So,
Right. Right.
can you show me where the bathroom is? I was like, all right, do it. Oh, yeah. So, and it's like, you did really good on that test, didn't you? It's like, cool. All right. Here's a math problem. Oh, you did good on that. So
Right,
that's cool
right.
because it's using Arabic numerals. Got it. So, so where 0 actually means something. So cool. But
Right.
anyway.
Right.
So yeah, they cheat like crazy on that one. And if you take a look at like other countries, even in Europe, they only test subsections of their population. So
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they'll do like quote unquote random sampling, which is not random. So, although some countries are a little bit more above board about it than others. So, like your Northern European countries, pretty above board about it. You move a little bit to the warmer parts of Europe, not so much.
Check this out. Okay, this was one of the ones that really got my goat because I sort of know about this. You know all about this, right? Okay, so what are the two ways they measure graduation rates?
In the United States?
Yes.
Well, it depends on the level, but if you're talking like high school level,
Yeah.
Well, they measure it by pure completion, so meaning people who actually get out at the end. But then they also measure they'll go back and include all the GED holders after a while.
Okay, so here is the best thing that I saw about this, right? One of the things they were claiming credit for was they said in one of the programs they went into, they said that the graduation rate when they got there was 50%.
At the school?
Yeah.
Well, they just kicked out the other half of the kids.
Oh no!
Look at charter schools do that all the time, man.
Oh no! This is yeah. So here's the thing: is this one actually was one of the ones they tried in the public, right? And they're claiming credit over this. So they say when we got there, the graduation rate was 50%. Okay. They said once we got things going after a couple of years, it was up to 95%. Now,
Oh, I know what we're doing.
what do they do?
Oh, we're cherry picking. So we're cherry picking the people who come in, and then you have like little Johnny who can't read real well. It's like, well, you can't stay here, little Johnny. You have to go back to the public school.
Oh no! It wasn't.
Well,
that.
they do that all
It
the
wasn't
time.
even that.
So yeah.
What they did was the first number was the one where they counted raw graduation.
Okay.
The second one is the one where they counted
completers.
GEDs.
Yeah.
Right?
Or late completers, people on the 5-year plan. Yeah.
Right?
I gotcha.
Because, yeah, and I'm sitting there listening to this stuff, and I really don't. I'm starting to think that there's just like a special place in hell for people that take advantage of the educational system for profit. In the public sector, in college sector, it is what it is.
Well, I'd agree with you on that in some respects. I think that there's some good charter school operators out there.
Well, I'm talking about programs like this. I'm talking about people that are fucking selling the worst kind of educational snake oil.
Oh yeah, well the educational like fucking reform complex. So is absolutely full of snake oil salesmen. I mean, you've seen that with textbooks. So the coolest thing that's happened since COVID is we basically put a stake in the heart of the fucking textbook industry, and it's been great. So as soon as we switched over, all right, I had some
notebooks.
Yeah, no, I had some people approach me from the school themselves, and they're like, we're bleeding students like crazy. Okay, whatever you can do to actually lower the cost of your classes. It was great. I was like, does this mean that I have your permission to fully adopt free online text? And they were like, absolutely. I was like, fuck yeah, finally. And so all of my classes now, they don't cost anybody a fucking penny. So in terms of textbooks and materials and shit like that, and it's just like, since I'd say the last year, my email daily gets at least 2 desperate pleas from somebody from Pearson or McGraw-Hill or what's the other big, there's a couple other big ones out there.
Scholastic was one.
Yeah, no, not so much in the college realm, but there's a couple others out there that are just like, hey, would you like a free copy of our book to review that you could possibly adopt in your class? and I would just delete them now. So I was fucking with them in the beginning, but now I feel bad for them, man. And so, because in the beginning I was like, sure, I'd love to review that book. How much is the MSRP on this bitch? You know? So and it's like, let me check this out with the bookstore and see what they can order. $235 a piece. No, thank you, sir. Do you have a free copy that I can give out to other students? So it was like, no. And then, there's so many people trying to do these adaptive learning bullshit programs now. So that are basically just a version of snake oil. Again, it was like, you can take our entire course cartridge and plug it into your class. So you don't have to do any prep. I was like, great. What's the end cost for the user? So $235, huh? Yeah, I'll pass. Thank you.
Yeah, it was
bad.
it was getting on my nerves a little bit. And it's just the fact that you're like, you guys are financing your own fucking documentary about this. It's like, you guys make me sick.
Dude, I feel you on that one, man. I've seen so many things like that kind of over the years. Is like, this is how we raise reading scores amongst first-time black students attending college. And it was like, with your $235 I mean, I see it all the time, man. So, but then, like, even in like the education realm, there's so many people who, I don't know. Charter school operators are kind of like hit and miss. Like, I've known a couple that were actually pretty solid. So, in fact, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife just gave one down in
$2 billion, yeah.
I don't think it was $2 billion. It was like 2.5 million. So
I know that she just did one the other day.
but it was here in town.
No. I was just saying, like, I just saw the headline where she just made, like, 2 days ago, a $2.5 billion.
That might be true, but she just did one specifically
Mackenzie
here
Scott.
in town.
Yeah.
That's a charter school that actually is in a shitty part of town that really does need some love. And they do a good job. I mean, I'm familiar with them, So, but then there's other ones in town, like that one that's on Powers down there. So
What was that, Swigert?
No, Swigert. I think it's James Irwin, if I'm not mistaken. And I've had
The Crocodile Hunter?
no.
Oh, that's Steve Irwin.
That's Steve
Oh, I'm
Irwin.
sorry.
Yeah, no, this is not. There's nothing Australian about this. It's a very evangelical kind of like thing where they believe in like this classical form of education that's strictly based upon discipline. So I know it sounds like it's right up your alley.
Fill out an application, yeah.
But here's the deal, man, and I've heard this from so many people who came out of there. If you're a teacher in that one, you have zero ability to actually like insert any kind of creativity in your class. You basically reading off fucking scripts.
I can read off scripts.
Well, go do it then for $29,000 a year.
Oh,
So,
God.
yeah, there you go. So yeah, and so it's like, oh, okay, I just figured out your business model.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so sometimes when you see schools like that, they just like they punch up against the fucking public schools. So
Yeah.
that kind of gets under my skin too. So because like there's nothing wrong with your local public school, man. So
No, as a matter of fact, again, this was the same from the same shit. The other assertion is that they're saying that we have to reform this because education has not changed in the past 100 years. I'm like, yeah, that's
bull fucking shit.
like, it's changed the past 10 years, it's changed the past 20 years. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, what are you guys talking about? I'm like,
Yeah.
if you talk about 30 years ago, the fucking teachers could smoke with the students.
Yeah, so, or date them if they were old enough.
That's and some of that depends on my state.
Some of that state, yeah, that's true. What is your age of consent in your state, man?
Right.
So yeah, so Wyoming, it's like, oh, you're a sophomore. Hey,
Oh, this is Georgia? Oh, you're in middle school.
Oh, you're middle
problem.
school. That's okay.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, we can do this as long as we have parents' permission.
Yeah,
Sure. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's
Your
not
folks
up
go
on
with
this.
it?
Yeah.
So you're gonna take your teacher, right?
Right.
So-
You got a good job.
you got a good job.
Yeah.
You got state benefits. So, but yeah, no, you're totally right, man. It changes. It flips over every like 5-10 years whenever they wash out a generation of new teachers who decide not to stick with it.
Yeah.
So, and then they get a new generation of new teachers in who are always like, oh, the Pearson called me. They have this great product. So they want me to test
Oh,
it out
man,
special.
You got a real bullseye. It's a very specific people.
Yeah. Oh man, I've seen that. I've seen all that shit. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, your local school, it's like even yours, man. Even though your fucking like school board is tearing itself to pieces right now because somebody said something about Hitler on Facebook. Did you see
Did
that
they?
shit?
Uh-uh.
Oh, cool. Please. I don't know that much about it, man. It's just like, oh, that's Williams District. Awesome. So somebody on your school board posted something about, I think she quoted Hitler on her fucking Facebook page.
okay.
All right. Something about persistence or something like that. Not thinking this all the way through. All right.
that's, you know what? It's funny because, yeah, I've seen, not in your district, but I've seen people, like, I've seen certain quotes pop out where it's like, every now and then you're reading something and you're like, first you want to shine like the sun, you have to burn like the sun. Like, I know who said that.
Right.
And there's people who's like, they just want looking for a good quote.
Right, yeah. I want a good email tag. I want to put up a good meme
Right.
tag or something. I don't even think she actually tagged Hitler on it. And so
Right.
the first time, but then, you know.
Somebody connected the dots.
Right. Well, usually Google does that almost immediately, you know, so let alone fucking Twitter.
Well, that was one of the this was an old point that people used to make is this Hitler or Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh,
Right?
sure.
And it's just if you're in the public sphere, you're going to say a lot of the same things. That's not to say it's clear that you guys have different agendas, but there's like you're going to find quotes about leadership. You're going to find quotes about inspiration. You're gonna,
Persistence.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Hard work.
Determination.
Determination.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that fucking bitch on that thing said the word rigorous about 200 times.
That's my least favorite word in education.
Fucking I almost
man.
put my computer through the wall.
It's my least favorite word. It means nothing. So,
It's so completely nebulous.
yeah.
People think it's like, oh, it's like hard work. I'm like,
Yeah.
the fuck do you mean
Rigor.
hard work? Like, my kind of hard work? Where it's like, recite the poem or do push-ups.
Right. It's like this involves a but this is Byron, Jeff.
All right, so we were talking before you got
Sorry.
here. His dichotomy between how he would raise the children versus people in the workplace, and that he wants people in the workplace to have all the rights in the world,
Oh,
Yes.
So-
not the children.
but not the children.
No.
So at McDonald's and such, they are now allowed to call off anytime they feel like.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, it's the rule. Since the COVID thing, you're allowed to just call off. You don't even have to make an excuse.
Oh no, that's fine. As long as you only get somebody within a certain amount of time.
You have 40 hours of paid leave.
Over the course of a year?
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then you could still call off and just not get paid.
Well, that would put you on FMLA, I bet.
Yeah, you'd have to go on FMLA in order to actually get paid off that, but
Well, no, you don't have to get paid. You can just call off and not have any repercussions. You can
If
call
you're on
off on a Friday because you want to go to a party and just be like, hey, I can't make it to work. Click.
yeah.
And I think that's absolutely insane
Um,
because it got to a point where there was a manager and one employee running a dinner shift at McDonald's on a Friday night.
Okay, so I'm going to actually agree with Jeff on this one because that's a low-paying job. Now, William, I wouldn't let you get away with that. All right, so because I pay you a lot of money. All right, and it's, so if you're going to jerk my chain because you say you're sick, all right, when you're not, and you already burned through all your PTO, in my office on Monday, we're going to talk about this. All right, so.
How are the stores supposed to operate?
They're not. They're supposed to go out of fucking business. So that's the whole thing.
What?
Yes.
Where are we going to get food?
There will be other stores that will figure out how to treat their employees better. So, and McDonald's they'll be okay, man. So, you know, that's just one bad franchise owner who's got like I don't know, maybe he's Iranian and hasn't paid his taxes. You know? Well, so, but you know, if you literally down to like a 2-person operation in a McDonald's
Because 9 people called off
because
that
9
day?
people called off that day, you need you need to fix two things in that situation. Number one, you need to hire better people. And number two, you need to hire better managers in that situation, because 9 people calling off one day, that's not people being sick. That's people who don't like to fucking work. All right. And so, okay. So we need to find better people, and we need to find better people to screen those people.
But you can't
So-
fire them for calling off.
It's right to work state. You can fire them up for whatever you want.
anything you want.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is the answer to that used to be that it's just an at-will state, right? Is it's like, all right, well, if you're going to do that, cool. All right.
Yep.
Clean out your locker.
Clean out your locker. Give me your keys. Paycheck will show up on Friday. So come on in.
It used to be that way.
It's still that way. I guarantee you, like, if someone actually, like, violated that policy to the point in time where they were head and shoulders above worse than everybody else, you could let them go. So, and they could say, oh my God, you let me go because I called in sick. I was like, no, I let you go because you called in sick 1,000 times before that time. So, you know, and you don't even have to give a reason in this state. So you'd be like, no, we just decided to move with somebody else. So, so good luck to you. So don't call for a reference.
But there aren't enough employees out there.
That's the thing.
That's the
Take the
problem.
job.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. That used to be enough to get people to stay. So, that's fine. Like, Will, I guess here's the question: is why is that not happening at Chick-fil-A?
Hey, they pay better.
Why is that not happening in it? Because they pay.
They pay better.
I mean,
All right, fair enough. It's just
so these,
absolutely mind-blowingly insane to me that people can just call off, just be like, have no reason, and be like, yeah, I'm not coming to work.
Well, if it's that much of a bitch to hire people, then yeah, I'd be like, sure, whatever. See you when you can get back, because like if literally my applicant stack is like too deep, and both of these guys have multiple like felonies associated with cash handling. So, it's like, this is the best we can do, huh? Then I'd be kind of like, all right, fine. So, yeah, Jeff calls in sick every other day, but, he pulls a mic and shows up to work on Monday, ready to go. Okay, fine, man, I'll fire you again. So, and then just say, okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Kind of thing. But like, that's the thing with McDonald's. I mean, I've seen ads for McDonald's now where their pay is up to like $16 or $17 an hour in some markets.
Right.
And so if McDonald's is up to that, and I mean, Walmart's raised their pay, so they're at the point in time where they're almost competitive with Costco. Even the Amazon Center down there, which used to be like notorious as being this like fucking sweatshop, they've raised their pay. And
they're about to
so,
lay off, I think, 10,000 people.
but it's all from corporate. So yeah, and so that's just like they're taking a look at that mothership in Seattle and saying, how many motherfuckers work here?
Yo, man, you'd be surprised how many people are getting kicked out of Twitter too. I mean, it's the same type of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going to lay off more people in one fell swoop at Amazon than Twitter
yeah, I
even
know.
fucking
I know.
has.
I know.
So yeah, so but like, I mean, your line jobs are going to start paying more. Your management jobs are going to start paying less. So in the future, because it's just going to be that hard to actually keep people out there. And so, like, honestly, if I was in charge of McDonald's like that or something like that, the first people I'd be looking at cutting is my fucking managers. I'd be like, do you guys actually do anything around here? So can this place kind of run itself with 5 good people who would rather just like run it the way that they want to run it? Or do I really need 3 shift supervisors here every single shift? So that's what I would be looking at. And I guarantee that's what Amazon's looking at. They probably look at that center down here as like, we got 1,000 employees here and 100 of them are managers.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, when I worked on the railroad, there was one of me for 300 motherfuckers. So, I mean, any place that's got top heavy management is probably going to start seeing some cuts, which is a good thing. So, just because they can't retain line employees. So, you don't need near as much management as you think you do. So, I mean, you've worked at schools. You've seen that hand over fist, man. So, it was like, you're the assistant director of what now?
So when you would go to the District 11 fucking processing center, the admin building,
Right, the one with all the fucking Mercedes parked out in front of it.
you like when you go down there, and it's not like the place was fucking gilded in gold or anything like that, but you go there and you're looking at the layers,
Yeah.
right? The layers, and you don't want to generalize, but it's like all you're doing. It's like you look at that piece of paper and then pass it off to somebody else. Like you don't do any paperwork, right? You just decide where the paperwork goes. A tube can do that,
Futurama.
right? And the tube would do a better job. It's the weird thing. Like, so I have one of my people is she was a counselor in Israel, right? And she is working to get accreditation here in the States, in California. And it is a fucking nightmare,
Yeah.
right?
I know it's hard here. So,
It's hard here too,
yeah.
but man, take a litigious place like that where it's
Sure.
the thing. All they're trying to do is like, well, like, how many do you need to retake any courses? How many of these transfer over? You know, and the thing was, it's not like she'd been doing that for years, right? And
Yeah.
so that's the thing. I was like, when you look at this from any technical standpoint, you say like, all right, we need counselors. Let's take a look at the experience of this person, right? And for whatever reason, they seem to think that the kids in Israel are like some kind of arachnid, because it's like, no, they're still children, right? This is a counselor for children. She's been doing this for years. 90% of the skills may cross over, right? But the rest of it is like, so what you need to know is, here's our legal procedures, right,
Yeah.
that are different.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's what I said was, but even if you're an American, the district is going to walk you through that on when you come in anyway, right?
Yeah, they'd put you through all those hoops too.
Yeah. So it's like, why are you looking to see if this person knows all of those hoops, right? When you have to teach people here to go through those hoops, even whenever you get to your district, they're gonna. I've done it. You go to the big meeting, and they're gonna walk you that full day up. Turn to page 2.
Yeah.
This is this, right?
Oh, see, that's so good about college, man. It's so. I mean, it seems like there's so much bureaucracy, but you can just ignore 90% of it. So it's just like, nah, I'm not going to that meeting. No, I'm not going to do that. It's like, nah, you can have somebody else out at that. No, I'm not going to send you those TPS reports. You know?
This is the thing. Pat,
Are they actually TPS reports?
No.
What does TPS stand for?
Well, that's that fucking
From
thing from the
Office
Office
Space.
Space. I think it's just made
It's
up.
just made
Yeah.
up, okay.
So it's just a thing.
Yeah, but the funny thing though is, a lot of that also depends on attitude, because there are plenty of people that attend every one of those things.
Sure.
There has to be a point where you. Sorry, well, we talked about this the other day.
They're the ones that run your HOA.
What?
The ones that attend every meeting.
They all get on the board of the
Okay, got it. Yeah, well, this is where there has to be a point where you have to check your own gut and say, am I a forgiveness or permission kind of guy?
Yeah.
And so you have to skip a couple of meetings to see, did anybody say something?
Or it has to be something you really do give a shit about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that's where they should be getting you, right?
Yeah.
To get the people to attend that need to be there or want to be there.
Right.
But when you come in there and you have that dead fish audience and you just
Yay in service. Yay.
just furious, you know.
You know, I guess I don't like those days don't get under my skin as much as they used to. They're just days now that are kind of wasted. So where it's just like, well, at least I got everything out of everything else I was supposed to do today. So sometimes that's
I
that.
always have stuff I need to be doing.
I don't know, man. I mean, there's been a
You
couple
get
times.
paid to do
Yeah,
all the
no.
stuff you'd rather
When you
be
get
doing.
paid for it, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I get an overage for this for HR train. Fucking sweet. You know. So
all
yeah.
right, all right.
It's like I can sit here and click this and scrub on this and, you know, swipe this window and make sure that I did all the things on the training. And
Okay.
it's like, oh, I got a stipend for this. Fucking cool. You know, I can watch YouTube videos on my other monitor while I'm doing this. You know, but no, I get you on that though. But there's, I don't know, man. There's just like, some of it is to, I don't know. You just get older and it's kind of like, whatever hoops, it's not worth fighting over it anymore, kind of thing. then there's other things where it's like, no, I'm gonna fight with my feet on this. So, and
I've not found anything I fight for.
yeah, it might happen over time, but Jeff and I, we've gone rounds and rounds with our employers over the years. So just to and I mean, there's some times where I look back on things, it's like, why the fuck did I care so much? I know there's so many of these things. It's like I put so much work into that, and I just got slapped down by management, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, that's probably what I would do to somebody.
It's the worst, yeah, because you do a project, you just, even the ones that you bring, the worst thing is, say, for example, this is when they talk about workplace, right? Thing is, I'd be the one that would, there would be some kind of unforgivable injustice, and unlike the rest of the people who slink back to their desk, I'd go straight to the office and what are you talking about us like this or whatever, right? I go in there and I cause some kind of a ruckus, and then they'd give me an assignment, right? Then it's like, well, tell you what, go ahead and look into this.
Right.
Okay, and this is the thing, is they might as well just walk my report straight to the trash. Is what is this okay, so here's a kid's menu, and right?
So you're doing the maze on the back of it?
Exactly. Yeah, I come to it and I'm like, yeah, I got past the crab and the slide that has razor blades on it, and I found the treasure chest in the middle, and they're like, good for you, Jeff, we're going to look into this here. Yeah. I'm going to put this on the company fridge, right? And
that's totally what they did.
And, I go away, and people are like, how things go. It's like, I'm actually instituting positive change.
Right.
They listen this time.
I made a difference.
Right. Well, and I don't know, man. Now that I've been in the other side of that a couple times, it's like, there's reasons why they would do that. So, one is to suss you out to see how much trouble you actually are.
Yes.
Number two is to milk actually any good ideas that you may have. So, yeah. And number three is to see, okay, how hard-headed are you going to be about this? Because this is something that nobody in the fucking company can change. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, and just flat out incompetence too. There's a lot of managers just fucking completely oblivious about what's going on around them, and they could give a shit less. So, because really, when it comes down to it, it's like, don't cause any ruckus. I need I'm on a fucking report 2 with my boss, and so the last thing that I need is more employee complaints. Otherwise, I'm never getting out of this fucking place.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's I don't know, man. I guess I did have kind of a moral high horse, and that's fine. Some people got to, and some people have to learn eventually, well, I said my piece. You guys aren't going to do anything, are you? No. It's like, okay, so no worries, but you guys need to know that you're going to have to fill this slot here in a little bit, because, it's just I remember.
See, and that's cool, man. If you have a manager who's like that, it's like, I hear you, but we can't change that. And you're like, well, this is a thing that I'm going to die on. It's like, all right, man, I suppose you are. So,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, look,
as long as they're straight up with you,
Yeah, I mean, at the bank, this was the thing, was
right,
because I didn't suck at my job, they always had me working on Saturdays. And
see, that's bad management.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
And
that's an easy win for them.
It is. And then one of the things was, one of the reasons I hated working on Saturdays was because we were understaffed, right?
And busy.
Well, now here's the thing, is because we were understaffed, what would happen is the compliance goon, okay, what she would do at the end of the day is she would go into the other room and make some phone calls in, right, to basically raise the service level, because it's based off of how quickly you answer the phone.
She's pencil whipping her own numbers.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, and this would happen every weekend, and so
that's when you guys just agree not to answer them.
Well, this was the thing. So I went to the boss. I'm like, okay, so it sucks working on Saturdays, right? It's like, yeah. It's like, all right. So we don't have enough people on Saturday. It's like, well, it doesn't seem like it. I'm like, that's correct. Because at the end of the day, this bitch is deliberately doing this, right? So if you don't get the bad numbers, you're not going to hire any more people on Saturday, are you? Like, so now that you're aware of this, what are you going to do?
Ignore it, Jeff.
It looks like things function just fine.
Yeah, you're wise to me. Let's see if I can get you to quit.
No, they didn't. They actually didn't put me through that, but it was just like, man, my effort level really fell through the floor.
Sure. Yeah, you give a shit's gone at that
Yeah.
point in time. That's when you just start phoning it in.
I
So
absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
Literally calling in sick
No, it was
every
just.
Saturday.
No, what I started doing was I just started showing up to work when I wanted to. I don't mean that in a negative way. I just like
Hold on a mic.
well, no. What I started doing was like I told him, I was like, well, I don't want to be on the weekends, and I don't want to be on this later shift. So I just started showing up early. And like, they're like, what are you doing? I was like, I want to work these hours.
I can honestly say I've never tried that.
It's
I've tried things similar to that, but not that one. Make your own shit.
I got to the point where I was like, I
Just so an office space type thing.
I was on stop me because I would
Stop me.
I would come
Stop
in.
me from working.
Yeah, I would come in. I would actually just like punch in at 7, and I would leave at 4, right? And after like a week of this, they're like, "You can't." I was like, "No, I'm doing it." I was like, I've been talking about this for a while, so you know that it makes sense to me. It's what I'm going to do. Do something about it.
It's office space. It's literally
I was like, and I guess I mean they're like, well, you're not, because the thing for me was I didn't want to come in at 8 anymore because driving to fucking Woodman and Academy at 8 o'clock in the morning back then.
Oh yeah.
It was like, no, I'm sick of leaving an hour early and being late. I'm like, I'm just gonna get here at 7. And then I started doing things like, yeah, I'm gonna work through lunch, so I'm gonna leave at 3:30. I just started, and people. That's the biggest problem is that people can't see you getting away with this stuff.
No. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's literally that's literally like, you know, it's like, why does that guy get out of his cell? I can get out of my cell. So hey, boys, we can all get out of our cell. So you just turn this thing right here. You know?
It's not even locked.
It's locked. So yeah, no, it's
made out of wood.
yeah, no, you can't do that. So
I did.
No. I mean, you can't like let somebody do that as a manager and not expect some kind of ramifications from it. So that's the kind of thing that's going to get you in trouble with your boss, because you were like, "What happens to call volume after 3:30?" It's like, my guys go home. What?
Well, and that was my point. Was like, well, if volume doesn't matter, right?
Right.
So, and that was the thing is a lot of people didn't even know we were open until 8 o'clock, right?
Right.
So like, oh, come here, first hour's free, right? So that was the that was part of it. Was I was like, well, if you guys don't care about call volume, like I made you aware of this, I'm letting you know that your person in charge of data is, you know, fucking up the numbers on purpose.
Right.
Like, so if it doesn't matter to you, it doesn't matter to me.
Well, obviously, yeah, it's one of those things. If rules don't matter around here, then why should I follow yours?
That was kind of it.
thing. Yeah.
And the funny thing was, they're like, well, we need to get you on a different job in here. It's like, all right, no problem.
They just shipped you to a different island. Yeah.
That's when I went to email and letter handler.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that was a pretty good move.
Well, it was, and that was the thing, though. They said, but we still need you to be backup in case we get busy.
Not
So
my problem.
then that was the thing, was then they dumped me into Saturdays, and then I would be covering like phone calls and stuff. I'm like, you guys,
Yeah.
like, you're
See, that's really funny. They actually rewarded you.
well.
That's how it
Yeah.
works.
It wasn't really rewarded. It was kind of like, and it wasn't like I've got stuff on you. It was like, look, I brought this up. Who do you want me to talk to? Right? It's like I brought it up to like management here. You're all like, go fuck yourself. I'm like, so do you think the people upstairs think the same thing you do?
Did they have a shift bid?
I don't remember.
Or did they just assign you a shift? See, that would be
I was
interesting.
assigned a shift.
Yeah, okay. So then, yeah,
It was-
you did the right thing. Yeah.
Well, and within the group that I went to, there was also like it was supposed to be rotating.
But they didn't rotate because people bitched about, I don't want to be here on Saturday. I got kids, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I got it.
I know. I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't want to be here on Saturdays either.
Yeah, just because I don't have
tired
kids,
of it.
don't fucking punish me for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my complaint, though.
Huh?
That's my complaint.
I do not broach that one ever. So it's one of those things like maybe you shouldn't work here. So, yeah. So,
Well, and you know, that's the thing is I didn't mind when it was supposed to be rotating, right?
Sure.
It's like you're supposed to be switching off. It was every month. You're supposed to rotate in like 2 people, this. But then they stopped doing it.
yeah.
Like, well, because it's like, and then I said, why don't I ever get Saturday? I literally wanted to, I like stop what I was doing, right? I was, I was in the middle of something and I just like, I hit the button. I just threw the headset down. I just went straight in the office. Like, why don't I ever have Saturdays off?
Was this like on a Saturday or was it like a Wednesday?
No, it was like a Wednesday.
That's even better. Just
Yeah.
stop what you're doing.
Just-
Wait a minute, the fuck? You know?
I threw it on my desk. So like, whoa, what's up with him? It's like, I just went into my boss's office and I said, why don't I ever have Saturdays off?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm supposed to have Saturdays off.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, okay, so we talked it over and we need competent people here. And I was like, so if I sucked at my job, I'd get Saturdays off. Say it.
Say it.
Right? And
God, that's funny. Yeah.
this is the thing. This was the problem. This is why I always ended up with that. Like, people would see me just like confront the bosses, not get thrown out. So they're like, oh, this guy's like you asked
the
how I
leader of
always
the
end up
Reliance,
being
yeah.
the fucking like workplace here. It's like, no, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. That's definitely a part of it. I don't know, man. I remember you went through a string of particularly bad managers for a while too. So yeah, because even that guy in the rig you were butting heads with. So
Yeah, but I was not exclusive to
exactly.
his headbutting list. Too.
Yeah, so no, but I understand that. But he was an exceptionally bad manager. So
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did get a little unlucky on that one too, man. So I've been kind of lucky. I've been about half and half. So
I do pretty good.
Yeah, you do fine.
I do fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also never going to ruffle a feather.
yeah, I will if it needs to happen. So I've got a pretty high tolerance for bullshit from management though. So, but yeah, there are certain things that's like, no, we can't do it this way, man. So it just comes up. Like that bullshit college that I work for. It's like we cannot sell this program to these students who will never get placed in this fucking thing because they have felonies, man. You cannot fucking do this. And I was like, well, you're not in charge of sales around here. And I was like, no, and I shouldn't have to be in order to fix that. You know? So,
Yeah.
but whatever. So anyway.
Yeah. I know.
What war stories? Fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have surprisingly little because you're
I don't ruffle feathers. so I
you're just all
go
about
along
that
with it.
compliance.
You know,
Yeah.
so everything seemed pretty good.
Yeah, dude,
Everywhere I've
you know,
been.
it's fine.
I mean, he's gonna retire before we do.
Of
Fuck it.
course.
Yeah.
Like,
Asshole.
I am not close to there, so
will not be. He doesn't have to go through and say, I have to pick my references. Right? Will can just go like last 3.
Yeah, no, mine's more like which of these things do I lump together? They just do a financial services, like section. So it's like, I don't know, that was like 20 years ago. You might be able to find something. So they might still have me on the records, but who knows? They might have to pull it out of storage.
It's a crapshoot. I mean, you can
Crapshoot.
try them. I
Here,
wouldn't waste my time if I were you.
yeah,
but-
here's our corporate number. So,
remember that's gonna work.
Oh, most of the places I work, fortunately, are just you call the number and they will just verify if you work
Yep.
there or not.
Well, actually, here's the sneaky thing nowadays.
What's this?
So most companies use ADP, okay, or some kind of payroll pay system.
Okay, yeah.
And so they can just go through your old payroll records and see. And so, yeah, I guarantee you your company does that.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
That's probably cheaper, actually.
It's way cheaper because you pay
Yeah.
into it and then you have access to it.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
So I'm Jeffrey,
I'm Will.
I'm Pat.
and I think we're done talking because we're about to open up another can of worms. We do.
Yeah, we'll say that one for next time. All right, hitting the button.